Hello and thank you for joining us. I'm Wilson Stribley. Welcome to another edition of At Issue, where we discuss and debate the critical issues facing the state of Mississippi and how these issues impact you. And we want you to share your opinions and comments with us. Just go to facebook.com/MPB Online News. On Twitter, our handle is @MPB News. Also visit our webpage, mpbonline.org/issue. And you can check us out, MPB News, and all your favorite shows on our new MPB app. It's free to download for your Apple or Android device. The big story, Mississippi's Religious Freedom Act. It continues to generate headlines and spark reaction from across the state and the nation. Supporters say it's designed to protect government officials and some private businesses from punishment while staying true to their religious beliefs. Opponents say it's government-backed discrimination, especially against the gay community. Governor Phil Bryant spoke about it this week.
But there's an argument that you're protecting one group at the expense of another.
And that's a ridiculous argument. The argument is someone's being discriminated against. That's just simply not true. What we are doing here, because of the Supreme Court's decision about marriage, we are, as 10 other states are doing, trying to decide where someone's faith can be protected as it is in the First Amendment to the United States Constitution. No one wants to hear that. No one wants to really read about it. Now, the people of faith understand that. The majority of the people of the state of Mississippi understand that. It is unfortunate, but it would not surprise me to see the federal government try to intervene on this decision. They do so almost every time we try to protect people of faith.
But what about, business interests? There's a lot of concern that folks are worried about the state's economy because of this bill.
Well, I understand that, and I understand the pressure, that is being applied. Look at this now. Strong pressure is being applied to businesses, even if they say we won't be critical of this bill because we may not think it does the discriminatory behavior that someone might claim. But if they don't say that, then this torrent of phone calls and emails might be unleashed upon them. So who's being discriminated against here? Where's the pressure and the anger coming from? Not from the people of faith, certainly not. And it is unfortunate, again, that each time we try to protect that group of Americans, this type of thing occurs.
House Bill 1523 is set to become law on July 1st. A legal challenge is expected. Christian conservatives in Mississippi used a Franklin Graham prayer rally to show their support for the new law. A crowd estimated at 6,400 people filled the Capitol grounds to hear from the son of the Reverend Billy Graham. He said America is being stripped of its biblical heritage and its God-inspired foundations. MPB's Paul Boger was there.
Mississippians gathered by the thousands for a prayer rally hosted by evangelist Franklin Graham. As part of a 50-state tour, Graham urged Christians to get more involved in the political process. He says the country is suffering due to declining morals.
I think we're all here today because we know that our country is in trouble. It's in trouble spiritually, it's in trouble racially, it's in trouble economically, and you all know it's in trouble politically. And I can tell you right now, there's no party that's going to turn this thing around, okay? I have zero hope in the Democratic Party. All right, before you Republicans high-five each other, I have zero hope in the Republican Party, or any party for that matter. The only hope for the United States of America, the only hope for Mississippi is Almighty God, okay?
While Graham insisted he was not in Mississippi to push for or against specific legislation, he did talk about Mississippi's new religious freedom law. It will allow churches and some private businesses to deny services to lesbian, gay, bisexual, or transgender people based on a deeply held belief. He says it's important to make sure religious freedom is protected.
We need to be very clear in how we protect all citizens, and including Christians, okay? And giving us the right to worship, not only to worship, but to live out our faith. And that's one thing. One thing to worship in a church. It's another thing to live out our faith, and we need to be able to live out our faith in public. And as Christians, God is very clear at what the rules are. and I want to follow those rules and his standards. And I think that's what the governor and many of the legislatures here in Mississippi want to do.
Many in the crowd agree with Graham's assessment. Kathy Berry from Crystal Springs says the law will help protect her grandchildren.
You talk about that Bill 1523, and my thoughts on that are, do you not see that someone who is deviant, who is acting like a confused gendered person, could use that to get to my grandchildren? That's where we draw the line. And when you see Franklin Graham and others standing up and sounding somewhat stern, it's because we're at a place where you draw the line in the sand, and we cannot give any more ground, or we're going to lose every freedom we have. And it's not just going to be the religious people, it's going to be everybody.
Critics of the state's new law argue the measure is discriminatory and unconstitutional. But Mike Artigues from Macomb says something needs to be done to protect religious freedom.
If I was in a business like that and someone came up and asked me, a baker, and some Klansman said, I want you to bake a cake for our Klan rally and put white power on it, I would like to think my conscience would be able to dictate that I don't have to do that and not worry about being sued. So if it's analogous to what's going on in the situation for this bill, then I think if not this bill, some bill needs to protect the conscience of people's freedom of conscience.
Paul Boger, MPB News.
Since Governor Bryant signed the bill, several states have banned non-essential travel to Mississippi, and nearly 100 authors signed a letter calling for it to be repealed. Well, a bill calling for an overhaul of the board that oversees Jackson's airports is on its way to the governor's desk. It would expand the board from 5 to 9 members, with representatives from Jackson, plus Hinds, Madison, and Rankin counties. It cleared its final hurdle when the Senate concurred with the House changes to the bill, but not before calls from Democrats to reconsider during floor debate.
The airport has been there for over 50 years.
Yes, sir.
There's never been a hint of scandal. There's never been a hint of impropriety, of any sort of malfeasance in office, or any misappropriation of funds or misuse of funds, or inefficiencies of the use of funds. And that's the first thing that people generally go to look at when they talk about taking something over. There is no such evidence of any of that. So we don't understand why this action is being taken, except that some folks see it, and they see it as an asset that they like to have, and they're going after it.
But I keep hearing, the concern is that this is a taking. What's being taken? There's not anything being taken from the city of Jackson. They're going to continue to get the tax revenues they get. $130,000 is what they received last year from the sales tax generated at the airport. They will continue to receive that into the future. The real property taxes they received from the property taxes that were levied at the airport, $37,500. They will continue to receive that. The Jackson City Schools received $33,000. They will continue to get that. So there's nothing being taken. It's expanding the board to bring in a more regional approach.
This is not about flights and the airports. This is about the commercial development of property owned by the airport. Who's going to control it and who's going to profit by it? The question here is the precedent of state takeover of local property established under the law, and whether or not that means anything to this body, and whether or not political power of the moment can be abused to take away a local government's power and give it to the state. That's what's being done with this bill.
Governor Bryant says he will sign the bill. The Joint Legislative Budget Committee met for the first time on Friday to talk about revenue expectations for next year's state budget. But work has been going on behind the scenes. Senate Appropriations Committee Chairman Buck Clark says he and House Appropriations Committee Chairman Herb Frierson have met informally to get the details together on what the budget will look like. Right now, they're trying to determine just how much money will be available to spend. Senator Clark says, quote, "At the moment, after seeing the drop in revenue for the last 2 months, we're waiting for a concrete number. We believe it will be a lower number in revenue than we've been dealing with. It will come down to who, if anyone, to hold harmless when we're looking at cuts," end quote. The deadline to file conference committee reports is Saturday. We move now to the Reporter's Notebook with MPB's Paul Boger. Good to have you with us, Paul. Let's talk about back to House Bill 1523. There was an effort by Representative Jay Hughes and some other legislators to repeal it. What's the status of that effort?
So the House concurrent resolution that they're trying to pass would essentially repeal 1523. They're looking at it as an economic and tourism initiative. Now that resolution has to go before the House Rules Committee before it can go anywhere else, because the House has to suspend the rules for the lawmakers to actually look at this bill. That's likely not going to happen, and this repeal is also not likely going to happen this session, because not only do you have to suspend the rules in the House, you also have to do it in the Senate. That's these House Democrats have a lot of work to do if they're trying to do that, and with maybe a week left in the session, that's not going to happen.
So there was an attempt in the Senate to suspend the rules, but more than likely this will stay where it is now, and that's essentially nowhere.
That's right.
Let's talk about what the governor has signed. We talked about a few things already, some of the bills that are now on their way to becoming law. First of all, the appointed superintendents now at all school districts in Mississippi.
Right. This has been a long time coming. Lawmakers have been trying to do this for probably the better part of 10, 20 years. Essentially what it will do is, if you live in a school district that has an elected superintendent, well, you got your last chance to vote on last year. So now, from now on, starting in 2019 actually, excuse me, all school superintendents in the state, roughly 140 some odd, will now be appointed rather than elected.
And they can now actually go outside the district now to find just the right
Right.
person, and that's been one of the primary arguments for that. Guns in churches, that's been signed by the governor. Now that there can be a small group of, or a group of members who are designated to undergo training to protect the congregation, as it were.
Right, that got signed just a couple days ago. You mentioned the task force, the security team that a church can appoint to have concealed weapons and be a trained force to have concealed weapons in the church. But the bill also, let's remember, allows for concealed carry statewide as long as that concealed weapon is in a holster. So, this has far-reaching implications as well. A lot of folks are for, a lot of conservatives are for the bill. If you look at a picture of the bill signing, there's a gun on top of a Bible in front of the governor. Obviously, a lot of Republicans are very for this bill. Democrats, however, a lot of folks in the African American community, especially, not quite as enthusiastic for this bill.
Charter schools.
Right. Charter school expansion. So now students living in a C, D, or F district can cross district lines and attend the charter school of their choice. So right now in Mississippi, we have 2 charter schools. Both of them are in Jackson. Under the current law, charter schools have to be can only be established in D or F districts. Now, that's still the case from my understanding. However, if you live in a C district, if your student lives in a C district, D, F, and there's a charter school within driving distance, I would assume.
Outside your district.
Outside your district. They have the option to go in there. And that's likely going to expand it into more rural parts of the state.
We have about 30 seconds left.
Okay.
What can we expect with the budget in the coming days?
Well, you're going to see a lot of interesting stuff. We still don't quite know what education spending is going to look like. MAEP colleges, community colleges, a lot going on there. You're likely going to see a lot of cuts to state agencies. You're going to see maybe a little bit more towards education, maybe a little bit more towards key priority issues, Medicaid, stuff like that, but not a whole lot of extra spending here in the state.
All right, Paul Boger with MPB News. Thank you.
Thank you.
The controversy over the state flag made its way to federal court this week. African-American attorney Carlos Moore is suing Governor Bryant, claiming the flag is offensive and unconstitutional and that it makes him physically ill. U.S. District Judge Carlton Reeves said during a hearing the flag is anti-American. MPB's Desiree Frazier reports.
Attorney Carlos Moore calls the Confederate emblem on the Mississippi flag state-sanctioned hate speech. He says the symbol of slavery relegates him to second-class citizenship. As a result, Moore claims the flag violates his civil rights.
This flag is making me feel like a second-class citizen. I am demanding to be treated as a first-class citizen. I won't take second best. Never have taken second best, and I'm not going to take it now.
At issue is, should the court take up a matter that could arguably be a political issue better left to legislators and voters? Attorneys for the governor argue it's a political issue but wouldn't comment.
I I was offended at the time that the majority of the population decided that they wanted to keep the state flag with the Confederate emblem. So that was the first injury. In 2002, when I was sworn into practice on September 13th of 2002, I was sworn into practice. I took an oath at that time to uphold and support the Mississippi Constitution and its laws and everything it stands for. I don't agree with everything Mississippi stands for, but to practice, I had to take that oath. That was offensive. I also took an oath to obey and support the United States Constitution. So here you have ideas of freedom with the U.S. Constitution and laws, and you have ideas of subrogation with Mississippi laws and Constitution. That's a conflict, so that's another reason I have standing to bring my lawsuit. And then in 2014, I was offended when James Meredith's statute was engulfed with the noose and the Georgia flag with the Confederate emblem, the old Georgia flag. I was offended that they were trying to send a message to African Americans by that. And I was encouraged that South Carolina finally took the flag down and that Alabama took the flag down, and I was hopeful that Mississippi would do the right thing. You had 9 people killed by an avowed white supremacist. Surely if the first state that succeeded from the Union had the decency to take the flag down, surely Mississippi would do so.
The state attorney general's office contends it's the people who act badly. They say the flag doesn't cause discriminatory treatment. But Moore claims he's sworn to uphold state laws and feels his dignity is violated when he has to work in courtrooms where the flag is displayed. Moore says the issue has led to heart problems and sleepless nights.
I believe I have a stigmatic injury and my health has been affected. My hypertension has been worsened. It's been exacerbated. My insomnia has been exacerbated, as well as my EKGs are abnormal.
How can you prove that?
My doctors will have to prove it. I'm a layperson. My doctors will have to support it, and they will. Lay people will understand that anxiety increases stress. Stress increases blood pressure. And it also causes you not to be able to sleep when you have too many things on your mind. And at 39, I should not be having abnormal EKGs. I have too much pressure on me, and the state is contributing towards that pressure because I have to constantly go to courthouses across the 82 counties in Mississippi. And each time I enter into a courthouse that has that state flag, I am offended, I feel threatened, and that is causing me undue stress and anxiety.
Judge Carlton Reeves says he'll review the oral arguments and briefs, but didn't say when he'll rule on the motions. Desiree Frazier, MPB News.
And Judge Reeves has yet to rule on whether the lawsuit will move forward or be dismissed. Well, let's get straight to the point with views from both sides of the aisle. Austin Barber is a Republican national strategist. He's the founding partner of Clearwater Group. Brandon Jones is a Democrat. He's an attorney with the Beria Jones law firm and a former member of the House. Brandon, Austin, good to have both of you with us this evening on At Issue. Let's start with this suit over the state flag. Could this be a true vehicle towards some sort of change, Brandon?
Well, I suppose theoretically it could be. I don't really know enough about the nature of the suit, the details of Mr. Moore's allegations to know exactly how it'll play out. But look, I think the bigger issue here is that there are a lot of us in this state who would like to see a new symbol, a symbol that represents more fully who we are as a state, something that is not found offensive by so many. And I understand any effort to change it. I don't know if this is going to be the successful one, but I hope that people keep trying. I hope it's ultimately changed.
Austin?
I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. My partner across the table is a lawyer. I'm confused by his arguments. He references hypertension, health, EKGs, insomnia. I guess he's having issues. I don't doubt that. But I sort of wonder, I mentioned this to Brandon earlier, this more sounds like an insanity defense used for offense by the plaintiff here. But we'll leave it up to the judge to make the decision. He's certainly a smarter guy than I am and understands the law, and we'll see what happens. But this doesn't quite seem like the vehicle to change the state flag, but I don't know. Interesting
that the judge himself weighed in on it and expressed his own feelings about the flag in a 3-hour-long hearing. Isn't that unusual?
It is. That's a lengthy oral argument. And so to give you an idea, typically an oral argument gives each side about 15 minutes in a state Supreme Court setting. And so, you know, it's a little bit different. The judge has an opportunity to ask questions. There's a little bit of give and take between the parties. And so sometimes they can get long, but 3 hours does seem really long. And, you know, Austin, you make some points. I mean, this is going to sound rather odd to someone listening in on what this state flag issue has become in the context of this particular lawsuit. But that's why I think it's important to step back. I mean, the issue is a state flag. And for many of us, the time just seems ripe to make a change. Again, I don't know if this is the vehicle, but I do hope that we can continue to make collective efforts, see if we can't do something.
Let's move on to education. Austin, you're pleased with the governor's signature on the charter school bill?
Yeah, there's been a lot of, Mississippi has gotten a lot of press, good or bad, depending on how you look at it, particularly this session, particularly this last week. But I think, and I was making some notes before we came on stage, Wilson, when you look back and see what Republicans have done under this speaker, this lieutenant governor, and this governor, I mean, it's an impressive slate of victories, if you'd ask me. Record funding for schools, teacher pay raises, a fund for special needs students, appointed superintendents, which just happened, and charter schools. And they had the first round of charter schools last year or 2 years ago. But I love this idea about how we can innovate our schools for the areas and the districts that need it, and wiping away the district lines for C, D, and F schools. So a kid who may be trapped in Jackson Public School, high school that doesn't work, and can go to a charter school that may be built in Madison or Brandon or Vicksburg or Yazoo City. I love that idea. Let's give those kids more opportunity to get funded, to get educated in a proper way with the funding that we as taxpayers give towards their education. So I applaud our legislature for this. I really do.
It almost sounded like you're going to seg into an MAEP full funding commercial.
I wasn't going there. I'll let you handle that.
Well, look, I think it's been an embarrassing session. I think we've spent way too much time on social engineering. We've been talking about these various anti-LGBT laws. We've talked about militias in churches. We still don't have an MAEP plan, which is apparently being worked out by the top secret committee, and we still don't have a budget, and we don't have anything approaching a roads bill. Apparently that one's dead on arrival. So I think all the main issues facing our state have essentially been left out to dry in the name of some of these sillier things. The charter school bill, we knew it was coming. We've talked about it. It was something that was a campaign point. Republicans won in really good numbers in both chambers, so we knew it was coming. I think the mistake here was including C schools. The whole purpose of this bill was to go at failing schools, to see if we couldn't address those. I don't know if C was good enough for me, Austin. I don't know how you feel about it, but I feel like that was a little bit step too far. It might keep some D students from being able to get into these schools.
It may, but the last thing that we can afford to do is have status quo in education. And these kids deserve our efforts. And I'm just excited that we can have an argument about policy, about particularly education policy, and how do we go make this right. And I'm just very excited about this. I can't wait till we can look in 2 or 3 or 4 years when we're sitting at the same desk to say, did this work? Were there kids that got out of failing schools wherever they are in the state? I mean, there are great schools all throughout the state, but there are really bad schools in the state. And we're not going to get off the bottom if we don't fix that. And I'm just glad that, a nonprofit, a for-profit, whoever it is, that's going to come in and start a charter school can go. And really, I think this is going to help charter schools in more rural areas. I think, from my hometown of Yazoo City, maybe you'll have a charter school that will start up on Highway 49 around Little Yazoo and attract kids from Jackson Public Schools that are failing or Canton Public Schools that are failing and say, drive 30 minutes, come here, we're going to have a great school for you.
Well, I like you're giving an impassioned voice to something, a sentiment that you and I share. We want to see our schools do better.
Absolutely.
And I do think you're right. We're going to have to be innovative to get there. And so, I do disagree with some of the mechanics, but you're right. This is a testing ground, and we'll have a chance to look back and see exactly what went right.
But what about the argument with charter schools and crossing district lines that the money follows the pupil? So you're draining, they say, the school where they should be going and sending it to another school, and only hurts the other school
That's
more.
Perfect. Let's have some competition. I mean, these school districts that are continuously failing, they need competition. They need a kick in the butt, to be honest with you. They need to see those dollars leave their school and go to a place that we think is going to perform well. And so they can say, you know what? We're going to have to close this school because all of our students that can go to this other charter school are going to go, and I'm not going to have a salary as some administrator. And I think that is great. I really do. And you can tell I'm very passionate about this, but I think we need competition in education.
It's a troubling thing. There's no oversight. You don't have to have school board approval. You don't have to have a lot of the safeguards that we've worked on for a long time to kind of figure out how exactly this manipulation of the financial situation works. It does follow the students. This is where the C student part of this, C school students part of this really kind of makes the waters a little bit murkier, because now you're taking away money from a C school, not a failing school. Yeah. And moving it into a private business, not regulated, little oversight, that's a little bit of a stretch. And so I'm into innovation, but let's admit it, this is a big innovation.
It is, and I'm glad. I'm all about DNF. You know, I'm sort of halfway on the C schools, but I'm just glad they're doing this. And I love the competitive aspects for public education, particularly in the places that it's failed. And it hadn't failed for the last 5 years, and some of these places have been the last 35 years. So I'm all about it, and I can't wait to see the results in 12 months or 24 months or 36 months after more of these charter schools, because these charter schools are going to come. There is a forward, you know, come on in, bring charter schools to Mississippi.
Well, they paid to get this bill passed. They better sure follow it down.
I don't know about that.
Well,
but
we've got about a minute remaining. What do we know what's happening with MAEP? Do we know what's being done with that formula, and if there will be any changes? We talked a little bit about what's happening in these committees.
We don't know, and that's the point. And this is unprecedented that you would make a change of the funding formula that's been the law of the land for very many years now, and that you would do it without having some just heads up as to what's going to be included in the bill. This is the kind of thing that has dogged this legislature from the beginning. They don't do their business in the open. The whole roads bill was worked out behind the scenes, and then it came to a crashing halt, and we still don't know what happened. The tax cuts are being held right now. Nobody knows what's going on in the House with those. The bond bill, who knows?
You got 10 seconds
I appreciate
to respond.
Brandon. He's very passionate about this, wants more transparency. But I will say, listen, I'm going to give these guys the benefit of the doubt. Next week we'll be able to see as the session goes out, look at the record of these Republicans on education. It's 2 thumbs up.
All right, we'll leave it at that, gentlemen. Thank you both, as always. Thank you for joining us. Another edition of At Issue next week.